Select Board meeting to order. It is Monday, February 23rd, 2026, and it is 7:02 p.m. Okay, because we usually do the Pledge of Allegiance, so it's a little hard to do that on Zoom. So I thought I would just say it on behalf of everybody. Are you okay with that? Okay. Yes. All right. I'm not looking to see if the flag is up. Usually Rajan puts up a flag, but I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you. All right, let's start with public input. Does anybody now, again, I am not really good at having all, and I'm working on an iPad, you guys, so I'm looking at the agenda. So if you all can, Rajan, if you can tell me if anyone's hand is up as we go through.
I have one hand up.
Awesome.
Diana.
So, Diana, do you have some public input?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I disagreed with your setting the special town meeting and the special election 2 months before our annual town meeting and our annual election. Only 2 months, costing the town additional money. But the most important thing was that it was set at the beginning and the middle of March for both of these, a time when in the winter, when a lot of our residents are not present, when the older people, some seniors in our community, are not willing to come out, even during the day. And one way to have dealt with that was the mail-in ballots. And I spoke to you a couple of meetings ago about asking about the procedure for mail-in ballots. I received an explanation, and I asked that be properly and prominently displayed so that people knew how to go about this. To my dismay, I checked today, and not only is the special election not mentioned on the front page, nor of course is on the front page of our website, not in the mail-in ballot, option, but it isn't even in the calendar. If you look on the public meetings calendar, it's not listed. In order to get any information about mail-in ballots, you literally have to click on the town clerk's website, go to another level of elections, look at a calendar where you see only the deadline, and you have to click another click in order to even get to the procedures for submitting a ballot and get the form to do so. I find this very disappointing because this is something that should be front and center. As far as I can see, the only places the special election are mentioned is one line on the warrant and where it talks about the special election and on the town clerk's website. You also have a notification system by email for people that have signed up to receive emails from the town. It should have been done weeks ago. I find this very dismaying, and frankly, it's very disenfranchising. This is a time of year when people are seriously out of town. They've moved to warmer climates, and we have the seniors that could take advantage of this. And here we are, 3 weeks from the special election. I think that the select board had a responsibility to monitor this, and I am very disappointed it has not been put at front and center. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mike and Rajan, can you address making sure everything is on the first page of the website? I know the Fire Station Building Committee has worked really hard to let everybody know about both the election and town meeting. I know that I included it on my monthly postcard that went to every household. Literally every household in Boxborough got a postcard with notification of both town meeting and the election and what to do if you needed to mail in or whatnot. And I did that as a private citizen. And I also know it's on all the Facebook pages. So I'm going to be a little harsh here. I don't know that most people use the town's website as their main point of information, but let's make sure that we make it a little bit easier for people to find.
Certainly, we can do that.
Thank you. Thank you. And also, Diana, we are working on making the website a little more user-friendly, working with the vendor. We've got a focus group that is going to be helping out with that. And if you want to be part of that, we'd be happy for you to join us. I'm not on it. So Rajan's managing that. So if you'd like to be part of that.
I'm happy about that because it really needs some significant reworking.
Yeah. So if you are interested, like I said, Rajan is spearheading that. Rajan, how many people do you have in your focus group now to help you with that?
I have about 6 people currently.
Okay, awesome. Well then, Diana, keep an eye out for some positive change.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Jen.
Kristen, we have Jen. We got her hand.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, thank you for letting me comment at this meeting. I'm here because I would really love to know more about how it was and how it happened that town hall was directed to be open on Friday mornings.
So we are actually going to have that as an agenda item at our next meeting so that we can invite people in to talk about it. So unfortunately, if it's not on our agenda, we can't have like a really robust conversation about it.
Yep, I understand that you may not be able to address all my comments. Excuse my cat for participating.
Hello, Kitty.
My comments and concerns this evening. I'm hoping that by bringing it up tonight, it gives you a sense of some of the things that I'd like to see addressed at that next meeting, questions and answers to. So my understanding was that the select board had a discussion about adding Friday hours at a September 22nd meeting, but that changing the hours was never voted on at that meeting. And I have yet to find any indication that a few further discussion or vote occurred. And yet in January, town hall was directed to be open on Friday mornings. So the questions I have include, what is the evidence that there is a demand for additional town hall hours? Who made the decision to direct the town to be open for additional hours? And how is it determined that Friday mornings would be the best additional hours to be open for? Was the decision made with a clear understanding of logistics, including that many town hall staff are part-time and some have contracts that specify they are allowed to work from home on Fridays?
Mm-hmm.
What does it cost the town to be open for those additional hours? As an involved town resident and a member of the library staff, I remember a town meeting discussion not that far in the past where we were told that Boxborough, due to its size, cannot always compete with other towns in terms of wages for town employees, especially because it cannot always offer full-time hours for many of the roles. It was discussed that, among other things, it was important that for Boxborough to be able to recruit and retain talented employees, that benefits like offering vacation and sick time and access to a sick leave bank for part-time employees was a great way to offer additional benefits. And as I said, I'm a part-time member at the library. I appreciate those benefits very much. The ability to work from home on Fridays for town hall employees was another such benefit that was discussed at the time as part of this recruitment and retainment of talented employees. Given that the actions in January seem like a surprising reversal from that, especially that town hall employees were not given much notice of the change. And from discussions I've had, I know that this action has damaged the trust that many town employees have in the select board. I think that the select board owes employees and residents a clearer understanding of how the decision was made, why that we can't find evidence of a vote. And I also believe that it should be reversed. I think you guys got really direct feedback from employees, especially in terms of the pursuant of unionization. So I just want to let you guys know that this is something I'm deeply concerned about. I appreciate the time you all put in as volunteers. But this is something that has certainly damaged my trust in the process of how decisions are made and communicated. So I hope to see a lot more come out about this in particular. Thank you.
Okay. So Jen, I took notes while you were talking, so why don't you send an email with all of your questions so I can make sure that I took it down correctly. And as I said, we're going to be discussing it at our next meeting.
Great. I will absolutely do that. Thank you very much.
Excellent. I hope you come.
Thanks.
All right. Any other public comment?
Chris, Nope.
Yes.
Kristen, did you have a question? Yeah, Kristen O'Neill.
Did. Hi. Thank you so much. And I'm not representing the Acton Box Row CPAC. I can't seem to be able to change my name. And this is from an earlier meeting today.
I get that.
So Kristen O'Neill, 408 Mass Ave, representing only myself in my post-shoveling glory. Just piggybacking off of what Jen raised here, if you're making a list of things that you could maybe address for your next meeting, I'm curious, in a lot of what Jen raised, especially the process in which data was maybe collected to make this decision, because I don't think that that's been clear to the general public as to what were we seeing as a pattern of feedback, who are we hearing from, what size of a group of people are we hearing from. I just, having watched the town more closely in the last few years, I think we've built up some incredible employee base and retention, whereas that's something that we've struggled with as a town in the past. And I just like to have a deeper understanding of how a decision that impacts that staff that we're trying to keep with a no cost benefit, like working from home on Friday, how that decision was made. And then I'm also curious, now that we do have hours on Friday, what are the services that are being accessed? How many people are coming in? Are we tracking that data so that we can make good decisions going forward? And I know you're looking at the website. I can find a lot of stuff on there. So I'm curious if there's anything that people are coming in for specifically on Fridays that they can't already access online. So just some added items for your list. Thank you so much.
So send an email. Send an email to
I
the
will.
select board. Yeah, because again, I just scribbled a ton of notes, but I don't want to miss anything. Awesome. All right. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Seeing none, let's move on with the agenda. Hey, Mike, can you give us an update on the storm before we move any further? What's going on out there with the storm? And,
Yeah,
catch us up?
yeah, absolutely. Certainly. So I had a 4:00 meeting with MEMA and the governor, where we got an update of things statewide and what to expect in the next few days. And then also in just a little bit, the fire chief will be joining us to talk about a tabletop exercise we did for emergency management, and he's also going to be giving a storm update from his perspective because he's in town. He has been throughout the storm. I have not. So he'll also give an update, and he's been going to separate MEMA meetings that involve all the EMDs from around the state. So at the 4:00 meeting today, we learned, no surprise because you've seen it all on the news, that the coastal cities and towns and the southeast were hit the hardest. And they're bringing in pieces of equipment from all over. That are especially in need of front end loaders and trucks to haul snow because they're running out of room to put it in many places. In fact, there were many of the coastal communities that were asking permission to be able to have a temporary waiver to be able to dump snow into the ocean. And that's not our case. But that's a CONSCOM issue, and they were directed that way. The governor did say that she's going to be keeping the statewide state of emergency in effect through tomorrow. And it looked like from the call that I was on at 4:00 that many city and town halls are going to remain closed tomorrow, although not all. To the west of us, we're not. Normally they get hit hard. This storm was a little different. It was more coastal and southeastern Massachusetts. Similarly, many of the school districts are going to be remaining closed tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And the reasons for many of those is because of the crews that have been working for 24 hours through the storm, now needing rest, as well as overnight. As the storm subsides, there's concern about the wind, putting drifts back into the roads and walkways and parking lots and so on. So there's certainly going to be cleanup tomorrow. With all of that in mind, I did discuss with Ed Kukla, our DPW director, and the police and fire chiefs, and library director, what we're going to do for tomorrow. And then I discussed it with Kristen, and we are going to keep town hall closed tomorrow, for many of the reasons that I just mentioned, as well as the fact that we have many staff that are coming from areas from the south and east. For myself, we got over 30 inches of snow, and so I just came in about 20 minutes ago from my third run with the snowblower, and I know we have other folks that are coming from Boston, south of Boston, etc. But we also have many folks that are coming from west of me, south of Worcester, and so forth. But also the biggest reason, to be honest, is that our DPW crews are going to be going to get their first rest in over 24 hours. And we have a small crew. We are a town that's able to maintain all of our roads without bringing in contract plow trucks and drivers, which is fortunate because those folks and those pieces of equipment are in very short supply. Towns that rely on that are often really struggle. Because we have a small DPW crew and they're the ones that do all of our roads, it takes the whole crew to clear our roadways. It's several hours to do the route. And I was talking this over this morning with Ed, and he said it really isn't efficient to send half the crew home and then bring them back and rest that way. They all work, then they finally get some sleep, and they'll be back in the morning to finish the cleanup. The same concerns exist over at the schools, both the schools that are in Acton as well as the Blanchard. I believe
school has been called already, so town hall and schools will be closed, right?
Yes. Okay. Yes, the library right now is hoping to do a late opening, so they've scheduled to do a late opening. But the library director and DPW director are going to be talking at 10 o'clock tomorrow to see if that's possible. See what the status of that parking lot and all of the walkways to the library are, and then the library director will make the call on that. Around town, it was for such a severe storm. It wasn't too bad. There was some carbon monoxide calls. There was some trees down, but there was some medical calls and your routine stuff. But it sounds like the town is in pretty good shape. The team and everyone who was involved did a great job of preparing for this and responding to it. The police chief, the fire chief, the DPW director, they all stayed in town and made sure things ran smoothly. That's what I have for an update. I think that the fire chief is going to have a more extensive update with other details that went on around and in town today.
Chief, you want to fill us in? Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, you're in your fancy whites.
Oh, just
you shovel snow in your fancy?
Well, that's the only thing I could grab. I didn't want to come on in the hoodie, so honestly, Mike was really covered a lot of the bases on this. Aside from the snow was supposed to stop between 6 and 8, and that the winds are going to be dying down sometimes between 7 and 9 tonight. We really, I think we dodged a bullet per se, as in comparison to other parts of the state and the region. I just saw an update that Providence, Rhode Island, they surpassed their 28 point something mark, the 32 and change. They beat their blizzard of 78 totals.
No!
So this storm is.
What was my storm?
Yeah, this storm's going to go down historic. So we were lucky that we're in the position that we're in. Other side from, we had a car fire this morning, damaged a couple other cars. We had 4 or 5 medicals, carbon monoxide, some wires down.
Wow.
I don't want to say there were any, a few of them were storm related, but a lot of it was just business as usual. The types of calls that generally come in. Car fire is still under investigation, so we're not sure if that was storm related or not, but still in a state of emergency until some point tomorrow. So I think that the decisions for the closures are justified, and just hopefully everyone can stay home, stay comfortable, and let's give the DPW the space and the room that they need to continue to work. They're doing a phenomenal job. Obviously, I drive quite a bit. The roads in Boxborough seem very good, so I can't say enough about them and the work they're doing. Thank you to them.
Anybody have anything for Mike or the chief?
Yeah, Chief, I saw somewhere that the governor shut down the trucks from 495. How was your observation of 495? Did you go out to 495 at all?
We did not respond to 495. I went up on 495. In my time on 495, I saw 2 tractor trailers that were jackknifed to the woods. So there were issues. I mean, that was early on in the morning, so right around the peak time of the storm. But yeah, I wasn't aware that she shut down the traffic to 495. I heard that there was some shutdowns to 24, and I also know that she instituted a travel ban in 3 of the counties in the Commonwealth. But I hadn't heard anything about 495.
Well, the
Just
travel,
DOT said no box trucks, only because our
Right.
movers couldn't move anything today, tomorrow.
that's
That
exactly
came from
it.
DOT, I think.
Yeah, she did talk about that at the 4 o'clock meeting I was at, is that they shut it down because of trucks, because of previous
Probably
accidents.
because of those
they
2
had.
on 495.
Yeah, probably.
Likely.
Hopefully the drivers
and-
and their contents are okay.
Yeah, and at that time, she was reporting that there were around 300 disabled and abandoned vehicles on the highways, and they were going to be working over the next couple of days to get those vehicles off the roadways. I know 495 was one of them. I think it was Route 88 down down the South
I've never
Shore
heard
was,
of
was
88.
another
Okay.
one. Yeah, it goes through Westport.
Where's
I guess
Westport?
I hadn't either. It's a coastal community down towards
It's like Dartmouth and New Bedford.
I was like, if it's not Acton Boxborough, it doesn't
Northeast Florida.
exist.
Yes.
Well, I hope they do all right then.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. 300 abandoned vehicles? That's a lot. Wow. All right. Anything else with you
And I think, yeah.
for Mike regarding the storm? No, well, thank you for everything. Please pass along our thanks to Ed and the team. And if there's anything we can do for them, let us know.
Oh, just real quick, Chief, did you want to talk about the exercise? Or
Oh, we're going to be getting to that, Bob. I promise.
Oh, I
It's on
thought
the
that.
agenda.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
Yep.
Go ahead. Yep.
That's okay. All right. So the next thing on the agenda was the AFSCME update. Mike, if you want to do that, update us on where that is.
Yes. So there are, first of all,
You muted yourself.
sorry about that. Yeah. So I was contacted a few weeks ago by AFSCME. They were recruited by some of our employees who were looking to unionize. There are basically 2 processes whereby a group of public employees can unionize. In fact, not just public employees, employees in general. One is through a voluntary recognition where the employer agrees that they either agree or don't oppose with their employees organizing with the union to have exclusive representation. And the other way is to go through, they can petition the state, and then the employer and the representative or the bargaining unit can make their case in front of the state, and then a decision is made in that regard. So we met with Rajon, myself, and town council, met with 2 members of AFSCME, Council 93, and a couple of weeks ago. And, the first thing we wanted to know before we met with them was what positions were they looking to organize. So they gave us a list of 27 positions. We went through that list, and we negotiated with them to get it down to 17 positions. Now, 2 of the positions have 2 people in each position, so it'll be 19 people, 17 positions basically. And then with that, we went to executive session at the last meeting. The select board, we presented that select board, we discussed it, and the select board voted to voluntarily recognize AFSCME Council 93 as the exclusive representative of this group of employees representing 17 positions. Let's see, basically the positions that we didn't want, in fact, didn't think we could allowed to be in the union were our contract employees, because we already have an agreement with these employees under contract. So these employees would have to withdraw from their contract, so that we're not defaulting on our obligation, as well as any sole managerial or employees that have people who are confidential employees with access to collective bargaining strategy, or notes, that sort of thing. So those are the positions, people with that sort of access that the union agreed and we agreed to pull out of there. So what happens now is that we're required to post the list of those positions in all the public buildings where those employees work. So we've posted that at the police department, where there's one employee, DPW and fire, where there's one employee, one shared employee between those two buildings, as well as town hall, where there are numerous employees, and the library, where there are some employees as well. That's required to be posted for 20 days. Once it's posted for 20 days, then we can submit the signed agreement between the union representatives and the select board to the state, and then the state can recognize that union. The other thing I had to do was I had to send an email or mail notification to every employee impacted by this, which I have done, and that's also required 20 days prior to submitting this to the state. So the real reason that I think it was in the town's interest, and I believe the town, the select board agreed to voluntarily, recognizing this union, is that when it goes back to the state, we don't know that the state is going to agree with what we have negotiated as far as the positions to be recognized. This, the AFSCME reps could go in and say, no, we really want these other 7 positions in there, or what have you. So we came up with a list that we think is very agreeable, as did they. And we think it's in everyone's best interest, the employees and the town, that we do this voluntary recognition, not pay a lot of money in legal representation, as well as kind of roll the dice on what we come out with as far as represented positions.
Sure. And town hall was unionized before, so this is. Yeah, Bob, you remember, you were probably around back then. I don't think anybody else on the camera was here before, but okay. All good. Thank you for the update. And you'll just keep us posted on all that. Any questions for Mike about this? All right, seeing none. Next on the agenda is Chief Kivlin. You want to walk us through the tabletop exercise that you recently did?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
So it's kind of funny. We were meeting as a group, myself, Mike, Rajan, Chief Shevchik, and Lieutenant Patriarca, and discussing working on our continuity of government plan, so that if something were to happen and we had to relocate town hall, how can we maintain services and maintain service to the community? So of all things, the thing that I put together was a winter storm. So
now,
I know how perfect, right? Ironically enough.
When did you do this?
So we did this February 5th or February 6th. So you'll have to forgive me. I can't remember the exact day, but it was that week.
All right. So in other words, not this morning.
No,
Okay.
not this morning. We did this a couple weeks ago. So what we did was we had everybody in. We had, it was fire, police, DPW, town administration, human services, the library, land use, the town clerk's office, the finance office, and the town accountant. So we had a really comprehensive group. It gave us a great picture of how the town functions, and it really helped us realize how the town is going to function if we were to have a significant emergency. So I had slides. I'm not going to share them. I'll just go off the script that I had, but Our scenario was a major nor'easter, 18 to 28 inches of snow, winds exceeding 60 miles
So
per
this is
hour.
your fault. All of this is your fault.
I know, and that's why I was so hesitant about talking about this
Okay,
tonight.
thanks a lot. Yeah,
So
all of
Mike-
Massachusetts thanks you, especially what was
You
that town
can-
I've
you
never
can-
heard of?
Thank us, yes.
Yeah, so Chief, what are the numbers for tomorrow, please?
All right, keep going. Sorry.
We'll be done early, Bob, I promise. So what we had happen was 60-mile-per-hour winds, sub-zero wind chills. And then early in the storm, we had approximately 70% of Boxborough lose power. We had cell service was significantly impaired. We had town hall suffer some structural damage that was going to force relocation of all government functions. And then we just had the increased call volume that emergency services were facing in regard to and also residents just seeking heat, power, and assistance. We identified a lot of strengths. It was really good. Really strong foundational capabilities of all the departments. Saw excellent cooperation amongst all the departments. Communication amongst the group was not an issue at all. It's very rapid decision making when they were faced with the loss of town hall. Some great questions came up as far as working remotely. Talked about if town hall were structurally damaged, the capabilities of getting back to get materials that they would need to relocate to what we were identifying as a library. The library was going to be our remote town hall, is what we were calling it. That's all pending the generator that the legislature was so good to give us the funding for. So it was really good to see the collaboration. It was great to hear people's awareness of our warming center operations, also about the vulnerable populations in our neighborhood and their needs. And then we had great discussions about public communication. We talked about rave a bit, but most of our discussion on public communication revolved around social media and developing a very comprehensive public information officer role and how we were going to all coordinate to make sure that the right messages were going out at the right time and that we didn't have departments walking on other departments' messages to make sure that the importance of certain department messages got out. And we really came up with a great strategy on developing a plan on, in the event that we have something, how we're gonna push information out to the public. But
Great.
that being said, we also found a lot of areas where we're gonna need some improvements. The lack of a
Anything
permanent.
specifically or,
Well,
or
yeah,
just
so
miscellaneous here and
I
there?
have a few. I have four in particular that I'll bring up right now. It's just the establishment of a permanent or even a semi-permanent emergency operations center. Right now, it's kind of, we talk about bouncing between fire and police department only because we have a generator, but depending on the type of emergency, space needs could come into play where the everyday staffing of the fire department might not lend to having an EOC there at certain times because it's right in the middle of their kitchen, right? So we identified that. We also talked about, possibly expanding the generator capacity in town and making sure that our power resilience for critical facilities is there. Is it time to maybe look at what it would take to potentially put a generator in town hall, maybe upgrade some of the generators that might have been in place for a while. We got to work on our communication redundancy. One of the things, communication will be great, email's great, as long as people have power. If Boxborough's being hit by a storm, as we're seeing now, just ask the people in Westport, everyone's being hit by
That's
a
the
storm.
town.
That's the town. So do our employees have mobile hotspots? We identified mobile hotspots as being an option from Payshawn out of the library. She has a cache of those. Do our residents have generators? Some of these things that we need to do at a town level. You just cannot pick up your computer and go down to Starbucks and jump on the local Wi-Fi and it's not secure, right? So we have to make sure that we meet a gap for our employees when it comes to how they're going to potentially be able to work remotely. One of the other things we identified is that remote computers rely on power at the host computer. So when we if I have my laptop and I need to access my desktop back at the firehouse, my desktop at the firehouse kicks on and I kind of enter it remotely through the back door there. And, but again, if there's no power there, I won't be able to access that. So some of the things that we worked on seeing that we need to do.
Is there any, and I don't even know if this is even possible. Like I know that my neighbors on either side of me in Hilbert Lane, they've got generators hardwired, connected to natural gas. You know, is there any way to create a community database of people that would say, hey, I've got this if you need it? Or is that just full of liability and all kinds of horror
I
stories?
think it would come down to liability and
Okay.
the security of their internet system and the potential,
Okay.
you know, there's, when we're talking about employee records, if we're talking about payroll, we're talking about other functions that need to happen. I'm not quite sure that those are the types of things that we could do in a resident's home.
Just asking.
Right. No, it's a valid question.
Well, I'm just thinking anybody with natural gas in town who has a generator is fine. You know, they're gonna be fine. It's if you're on kerosene or propane or whatever else. Okay.
Well, that was one of the biggest worries is, again, we were looking at everything, and one of the other bigger things that we came up with was lack of power is also lack of water for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then trying to improve our sheltering and warming center operations and staffing plans, and also our supply caches for that. And that's going to help us align a lot with recommendations from FEMA and MEMA when it comes to small town resiliency. But we're just not quite there. And there's a lot of question that surrounded the Blanchard as whether it would be an acceptable shelter because of its lack of showering facilities. And also, since the town doesn't own it anymore, no one could really answer the question as to whether there's an MOU with the AB school district that we could use that still guaranteed as a shelter, and that we're working with the superintendent's office through the safety committee to make sure that we have those agreements in place and that we're able to do these things.
Does 111 have natural gas? I don't even know.
Does what?
Does 111 have natural gas?
Yes.
I have it, and I'm
So you
close to
guys
it.
you have natural gas at the station,
Yes, we do.
and the new fire station will also have natural gas. Okay.
Let's hope so.
The likely fire station would have natural gas.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping for.
Okay.
So in the meantime, we're trying to finalize some after action reports that are coming in. All the department heads that participated were given after action reports. They've been slowly making their way to me so that we can work on our improvement plan. And just, it was a great exercise. The participation from everybody, the enthusiasm coming into it, the feedback that we received after. I can't thank everyone enough for their participation. It was really valuable. Obviously, it was a very realistic assessment of the types of things that we could face and our preparedness. And it just confirmed that Boxborough has a very strong interdepartmental teamwork and a solid foundation for emergency response. Everyone contributed. Everyone brought something to the table. And right now, I'd be happy to take any questions if anyone has any.
Great, jump right in.
Chief, in terms of the emergency shelter, what supplies do we need, and do we have all of them? Like I'm thinking like emergency blankets, water, like some basic food items. I'm not sure. So I'm just
right. A lot of it would have to do with cots and things of that nature. Burke has trailers full of equipment. They even have some dog crates and things of that nature because if someone it's guaranteed that people will show up with animals. There's an entire list, and I'll get that list for you, Priya, and forward it to you. There's a list of things that are on the MEMA website for different types of shelters and the level of shelters that you can have. I guess it would all depend on once we get in and do a site assessment of the Blanchard where we're anticipating the shelter, what it is that we'd be able to do there based on the level of facilities that they can provide. Again, not having showering capabilities really kind of limits the shelter a bit.
Adam, does the Boardwalk School have any kind of showering facility or anything like that? I'm just thinking about the schools closest to us.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, because elementary schools, you wouldn't necessarily do that. Yeah, okay. Can we add a shower at the library? You know, is that the kind of thing we're looking at? Chief Kivlin?
Well, she just did such a major renovation. I think if we we're going to do it, the time would have been a while ago. But the library is actually going to be very important to us as, not only a warming and charging station, but potentially as a a remote town hall, that if the town hall, again, loses power, we're going to have to pick up and move somewhere else. And once that generator is in, I'm not really sure if we want to mix having town hall functions and sheltering
True.
functions going on at the same location.
True.
One of the things that I intend to do is I want to speak with Chief Arnhem in Acton and ask her about her sheltering operations and her capabilities and see if there's a way to share resources and a way to partner in these.
Adam, what do you see as a path to, if we do need to look into, Blanchard being an option for us? What's the path there?
I think Chief Kivlin mentioned it, going to the superintendent's office and understanding what the district can provide. And then if an MOU needs to be signed, most likely it'll be signed between him and the town with the heads up to the school committee. Okay,
thank you.
Yep.
All right, anything else?
I wanted to mention one other thing. This kind of an emergency management tabletop exercise is something that all communities should do. Not all communities do this. I would say that most do. All of them should. We have folks that have worked here in Boxborough for nearly 30 years that don't remember the town ever doing one. So I'm
pretty sure Chief Clayton did one because
Did he?
Yeah, because he was the one that helped Burke get all the supplies that they have. He wrote grants and all that.
Okay, good.
Regardless.
Good, excellent. Yeah. So it was, I had asked, Chief to put this together, and he worked with his team, and they did a great job putting together a good exercise that really tested our strengths and weaknesses and what things are missing. And it did a great job. This won't be the last one. This is something where now we found out what we need to work on. And those after action reports are going to be really important to him as he builds and strengthens the capabilities of the town. And then, this presenting this to you as a board and the community is the next step, because now we need to start letting people know that the town is thinking about this, because next community members need to know what to expect in an emergency. Where do you go? Who are you going to hear from? How are you going to, and there's sometimes where it's going to be a shelter in place, and people need to know that, how to do that and what to expect. But anyways, hats off to Chief Kivlin and his team. It was a great exercise with more to come.
So I have one more question, and it's because Diane is, chiming in earlier. Where are we with rave? Have we had good response? Are people signing up? Like, any idea of percentages?
So the last time I checked on Saturday morning, there were 174 people signed up for it.
That's it.
That is it.
Okay.
So just continue to try to get the message out. I'll take advantage of it right now.
There's a page in the warrant, right? And I'm trying to remember, Kelly, did you put something? Maybe that should be a major page in the warrant, because that will probably reach at least 1,000 people will read it, right? I don't remember. I didn't scroll through. I just looked at the warrant articles. So,
but the link is on the town's website. It's there. It's going to be a great tool once we have more subscribers. It's going to be a way for us to get, very important information out to people so they can be informed and make the right decisions for themselves and their families in the event of an emergency. And just on the non-emergency side, it's a great way to stay connected with the groups and with the activities that happen in town that you subscribe for. You don't have to subscribe for the optional things. You are definitely going to get the emergency updates, but it's another way to stay informed as far as things that you're interested in the town, and to receive those alerts as well. So I'd encourage everyone to go on the town's website and click on the link. One of the things that I think we found was that if you're entering a landline, please make sure you put a 1 in front of your area code, so that, because it's a lot of the landline messages were getting kicked back, and I believe it's because someone didn't dial put a 1 in before the area code. But just urge everyone to sign up.
So we have 2 members of the media with us right now. We have Judy at BXB and Cassie for Boxborough News. So I'm wondering if you could run something on BXB where they just have like the notice, and maybe, unless you're already doing that. And I think, Cassie, didn't you guys already do an article about rave maybe? but I'm pretty sure I read one, but maybe it has to be a more serious call to action. Like, we need you to sign up so we can communicate with you during emergencies or non-emergencies, really.
Chris Brolin from Boxborough News had reached out to me last week, and we are actually working on connecting to, he's
Awesome.
already done an article, and we're working on a follow-up article and getting the word out through that as well.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's specifically telling people they need to do it versus just telling them about it. You need to do this. So, okay.
Let's just say, but Mike was right, though. This was just step one. I think that sometime once the nicer weather comes, we're going to see how picking up and moving, just in a non-emergent situation, just seeing how picking up and moving works, and see, what people's needs are to pick up and move up to the library, and what do they need as far as equipment, what are their must-haves that they have to put together on a list so that they can relocate and still provide the services that they need to provide to the community. So I know that at some time in the nicer weather, we're going to put that to the test and see how individual departments do.
Okay. All right. Now,
Thank
are
you
we
so
really
much.
done? Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks
All
for
right.
being there. All right. Next up, Adam, school budget update.
Hi. Thank you. So I'm going to give you a quick update of our February 9th budget workshop. First of all, thanks to Kristen for attending, and apologies that it was a conflict with your select board meeting, but I'm glad that we had some representation there. We also had several members of the Boxborough Finance Committee, as well as members of Acton Select Board and Finance Committee.
Yeah, I would have felt really badly if we weren't represented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you for coming.
No, my pleasure.
So the meeting started off with a presentation from Dillinger, who are the consultants that are working with us on the geographic enrollment models. This was their first meeting, first presentation. They really just gave an overview of some of the questions that they're going to have. You saw many of those in the survey that went out, and just talked about what their process would be. And then once we had the Dillinger presentation, we went into our budget workshop. I think most of you have probably seen a lot of this. Bottom line, our budget for next year is going to be $122.6 million. That is a 4.75% increase. But the assessments, and I'm trying to look at my notes here, the assessment to Boxborough is 17.7 million, which is a 5.57% increase to Boxborough. The reason that Boxborough has a higher percentage increase than the overall budget increase, as always, is due to enrollment. So we have a couple more students from Boxborough in the district, and we have a bunch of fewer students from Acton. So either and both of those affect how the assessment gets calculated, and that is on a rolling 3-year average. Obviously, some of the biggest drivers for
Sorry to interrupt you,
yeah.
But that is, I think Paddock Estates is a big driver of that, so I don't want people to just say, oh, we're getting screwed out of this, I guess. But Paddock Estates did come online like about 3 years ago, so that is a huge driver, I think, for why Boxborough is going to be starting to share a bigger load or percentage.
Yeah, and I think that thanks, Wes. And the important part here is that when folks are looking at our budget, you really need to look at what our operating budget number is and not what the assessment is to the town, because the assessment is driven 100% by enrollment, and we have no control over that. And that's we, the school, and we, the town, and we, the everybody. It's maybe Kristen has something to do with it as she gets more people to move into Boxborough.
It's the best town ever.
Exactly. But that assessment number obviously is what the town needs to pay, but it's not what is, it's not representative of what the school budget is. So that 4.75% increase in the school budget, the big budget drivers for us, as always, are health insurance. That's up about 14% for this year. Our out-of-district special education costs are up about 16% this year. Our big and utilities continue to go up as well for us. I will say, when we looked at the personnel budget, this is really important. We did have a number of cuts in classroom and unified arts, and so a number of cuts in staff, a number of additions in staffing for strategic areas. But overall, our personnel budget only went up by 3%. So there's a net savings there due to the reshuffling of staffing. And then, as a reminder, we only get about 17.5 million of our $122 million budget from the state. That's the Chapter 70 funding. And just like you guys have been talking about the state aid that we get in town, that state aid that we get at the schools is a real small portion of our overall budget, and it's something that we continue to advocate to get more funding for. That's pretty much the highlights right now. So we will have another go at the budget. I've heard that the insurance numbers have come in even more favorable than this last view. So there should be some savings. What I will say is oftentimes those savings get put towards areas that were cut this year that we didn't want to cut. So I'm not going to promise that our budget's going to go down, but we may be able to repurpose those savings into other areas that we feel are important to fund. We also did plan for additional state aid. Right now we're planning on $75 per student in additional aid from the state, and we put in a placeholder for another $50 per student coming from the state. That doesn't affect our assessments, and where we're putting that money is an area that we cut this year that is relatively low risk, I would say, which was our money towards our OPEB liabilities. So if we get the money, we'll put more money towards OPEB. If we don't get the money, we're not going to spend it, and we'll remove that out of the budget in June.
Okay. Any questions for Adam about anything school related? Yeah.
Adam, do we know, like, with the reorganization, what the savings are? Do we have a number on the amount of savings?
I don't have a number like that I could list out to you right now. What we know is that we've cut 11 classrooms, 11 classroom teachers, the 3 unified arts, and some administration. So there's the savings there, and there's the savings from running the Conant School, having it fully up and running. There'll still be some costs for that building as we need to keep it, the electricity on and the heat at a minimum level. I think that as we get through the rest of the reorganization and we get all the students placed and everything like that, we'll come back and look at what the actual savings are. But I don't have a number off sort of right now on that.
Do we know what we are going to do with the Conant School?
No, we don't yet. There are a number of opportunities and plans, not plans, opportunities and ideas. But really the district we're focused on 2 very important things right now. One is a successful reorganization, placing all of our students and our educators in the remaining buildings. And then obviously I forgot to mention, we are also going to be running a superintendent search next year, as Peter Light has announced that he's departing the district, not at the end of this year, but at the end of next year. So we have about 17 or so months to replace him. The Conant, there are a couple ideas, but it's not at the top of our list of things to do right now. So we'll get through those first things, and then we'll see what we'll do with that. There's not a plan right now to sell the building, because the regional agreement says that if we sell the building, it goes back to the town of Acton for $1. But we do need to keep it functioning in some sort of educational format. So we're looking at that, and we still use the parking lots around there to house a lot of the buses. So we need to keep that space available for us.
And you said the assessment was 5.5?
5.57%, $17.7 million.
Okay. Thank you.
Diana, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I have a question. I know that in some cities, some towns, enrollment overall has gone down. I know Boxborough's enrollment has gone up, but what about the overall enrollment in the Boxborough-Acton School District?
Yeah, thanks, Diana. The town of Boxborough's enrollment, I think, from last year to this year went up by 2 whole students. Overall, our enrollment is down, and it is currently forecasted to go down by another 60 to 100 students over the next 10 years. So we really are at a very low point in our enrollment. So yeah, it's down. I would say, I think it's about 1,000 students from our peak in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Diane, I think one of the wild cards is that Acton's got a large apartment complex coming in 3 times the size of Paddock. So that's a little bit of our wild card, because there's no way to know how many kids are going to live there. It's over in where Maynard, Sudbury, and Acton all come together. And I think occupancy begins next year. I'm not really clear on that. But anyway, there's some wild cards. I think that's why Adam's being really careful to say, yeah, we're going to, we have to wait and see.
It doesn't surprise me because Boxborough is going through the empty nest syndrome right now.
Yes, we are.
Of our houses, and I would think Acton's in the opposite direction. So, they're going through theirs now. So that impacts, and these cycles are pretty, predictable, as you know, the realtor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wonder how much this affects maintenance and so forth, because you still have upkeep on these buildings. And if it's projected to go down, are you making any kind of contingency plans in that regard?
The biggest thing we're doing, Diana, is closing the Conant School in Acton. So that's a whole school building. It is the oldest and smallest school left in the sort of the portfolio of buildings that we have. And so we'll see savings there. What it does do, though, is it puts our occupancy in the remaining 3 elementary school buildings. It puts our utilization to about 95%. And so that's the thing that we need to be careful of, is that, if we do see a huge surge of elementary school aged kids come into the district, we'll very quickly sort of fill up the buildings that we have. And so a lot of the work that we're doing with the consultant right now around drawing these geographic boundaries is to look at current enrollment and future enrollment models, looking at new developments that might be coming online, and drawing the boundary lines to support that for the future, but also provide some flexibility. So as we do see new folks move in, we can make sure that we don't over enroll a school.
Yeah, Adam, you just
I'm really
mentioned.
happy to hear that. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Diana. Adam, quick question. You just mentioned the number 95% occupancy. What's the target goal, if there is a target goal for occupancy? Is it 90%? Is it 85%?
That's a great question, Bob. I don't know. I think it's kind of, we would love to have lots of extra available space. And so it might be even less than that. But, there's the burden of maintaining those facilities. I would say that we were really lucky when we started the Boardwalk Campus building project. Our enrollment models showed that we were at the bottom of our enrollment trend and we were peaking back up. And so when we went to the state and to get our funding and approval, we got approved a larger building than what Gates and Douglas were originally designed for. And so we lucked out because our enrollments haven't peaked back up or don't look like they're going to, as that building was designed for. But 95%, it's so hard. If you look at how Blanchard is designed versus how Parker Damon Building's designed versus how Boardwalks is designed, modern schools have a lot of other spaces, lots of breakout spaces and small spaces and areas that support the way learning and teaching happens today that, Blanchard doesn't have. And so they take a full-size classroom and they break that into 3 smaller spaces. So it's hard to tell what, we walked through Blanchard with Mac Reed a couple of years ago, and he told us how they had 600 kids in that building. And we can't even imagine putting 600 kids in Blanchard.
My kids were 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, things, the way that those buildings are utilized really changes. So, saying that we're at 95% is 95% based on, how we would intend to use those spaces today. If we got to 110%, we'd still have all those kids in the building. We would be using different spaces for different things and make it work. That's also part of the reason why we're not looking to sort of dispose of Conant just yet. There would be a lot of work to bring that building back online as a really modern and useful space. But it's something that we're going to keep an eye on as, enrollment trends hopefully change for the better. Because when enrollment goes up, our state funding goes up, everything gets, it seems like it might be harder when you have more kids, but really it actually makes some things a lot easier.
The feather, oh God, okay. Any other questions for Adam? No? All right. Well, thank you very much, sir, for attending. Appreciate it. Okay, next up, the IMA for Veterans Services. Mike, do you want to talk us through that one? It's in your packet, the full agreement, and my name is misspelled, but that's, I can live with that.
Sure, I can talk about this, and I hope my Wi-Fi cooperates because it's been kind of in and out. But anyway, I'll try to speak quickly.
You can always turn your camera off too, if it helps.
Yeah, I will if it starts showing weak. So basically, we are, the IMA is based on services provided to Boxborough from the VSO who was originally hired by Acton, and it's based on percentage of population. And so that's year to year, that's what our percentage of share of the cost of the IMA goes towards. I think that James McRae, who's our Veteran Service Officer, does a great job. He's here on Tuesdays in Town Hall, where we've provided him an office, as well as on call during all of the business hours, and can make calls to homes or come out as needed at other times. So the Acton Select Board, I believe, is voting this next week. So this is one where both towns, the select boards, need to vote to agree to this. And this would pick up this is a 3-year agreement, but we only know the dollar amount for the first year, which is what's in your packet, and then year to year it changes. So it'll take effect in July 1st for FY27.
Okay.
Mike, yeah, Mike, the only question I have, the 12% that I'm seeing that Boxborough's contribution, is that based upon the latest population, or is that based upon the 2020, or what is that?
I believe that's on the latest.
On the latest
Yeah.
population. Okay, great. Thank you.
Correct.
Any other questions? Okay, well then I'm going to make a motion that we approve it, if I can find it. If anyone else has the motions in front of them, feel free.
Let's see. I'll make a motion. I move to approve this. I move to approve the select board to sign the intermunicipal agreement for the veteran services as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, sorry.
Whoever.
You-
Was seconded.
Somebody can pick. All right, any further discussion? All right, so we're gonna do a roll call vote. All those in favor, please say aye. And we'll just do a roll call. No, how do we do with the roll call vote on Zoom? I forget. What am I supposed to say?
You
Whatever
go
order.
as you see them, as you see us.
No, but I don't say please say aye. How am I supposed to say these?
You say, you would say, like, I would say folks aye, and then you would say Bob, and then you would ask for their votes.
Okay,
So
then all right. I'm asking
It's a
you for
roll.
your-
It's
so in
effectively
that-
every vote is a roll call vote.
Right, because I'm not saying all those, okay, all right. So we're just gonna do a roll call vote, in the order of which I see you. Bob,
Sample I.
Priya,
Sundaram, aye.
Sam,
Anderson, aye.
Wes,
Folks aye.
and Hilberg, aye. All right, that's unanimous. Moving right along. All right. All right, time to close the warrant. So Mike and I talked about this. It's so funny. It feels early to me, but Kelly did send out the email today. I guess we have 50 warrant articles. She did send an email out to all boards and commissions saying, if you have anything further to add, let us know. We'll talk about that when we go through the actual warrant. And it does make sense to close it today, just because we do need to incentivize everybody to have all their recommendations and votes in by March 23rd. So anybody have anything to say, opinions, whatnot about closing the warrant tonight? Seeing none, I move to close the warrant for the 2026 annual town meeting, fiscal year 2027, effective immediately.
Second.
All right, we'll do any further discussion? We'll do a roll call vote. Bob,
Sample I.
Priya,
Sundaram, aye.
Sam,
Anderson, aye.
Wes,
Folks aye.
and Hilberg, aye. All right. And let's see. So now we're actually going to go to the draft warrant. Rajan, can you put it up on the screen? Can you screen share it? And while you're doing that, so this is what I was thinking, guys, to keep it efficient. I thought that for tonight, we would go through the warrant and first decide if we need more, we're going to, pretty much all of this is going to be familiar between capital Saturday, budget Saturday, all of that good stuff. Most of this is going to be familiar. And as we go through, the first question is, does anybody need additional information beyond what the liaison can bring back to us? And if so, we can invite the presenter of the article to a future meeting. And that way we could actually get people scheduled. You know, we have questions on Article 22, such and such is going to come in and answer our questions on our next meeting. So I thought we'd do that. And then also assign them for recommendations. So I think if we just do that tonight, and then at our next meeting, we'll focus and actually vote. So I'm leery of doing too much multitasking. What do you think?
I like it.
You okay with that? All right. I am now looking at the warrant and none of you guys. So if anyone has anything to say, you just have to say it. So, all right. So scrolling through, let's just kind of go quick, go reasonably quickly through the warrant. All right. Article 1, choose town officers. That's an easy one, right? All right. No one said anything. Next. Receive reports. That's an easy one. Next. And we don't need recommendations for those, right?
So I do have questions on this. I don't know why we continue to include the $0 positions.
I'm guessing I'm just guessing here, Wes. I'm guessing it's because we could opt to take money, and this is a way of saying that, yes, we're elected, we could be paid, but we opt not to be paid.
I don't know if we need that just for efficiency's sake, and it also causes confusion of why we're paying some boards or committees rather than others.
So what, Wes, would you say the only thing we would list would be the constable?
I would just say the town clerk and the constable. Yeah.
Okay.
Because before, if you look at the warrants, before the school committee took it, then we didn't have them in there. It was literally just the select board, the town clerk, the constables, and the planning board in that way, and then and the moderator. But the moderator always waived, or previously waived his things, but they're not asking for salary. So I think that just for cleanliness and succinctness.
Wes, would it be feasible then in the future to bring it up if we need to? Because, if
someone asks, they're more than willing to ask or petition for having people get paid, but I don't know if we need to call out like $0, like for the elected. We can also just say all other elected officials will be paid $0.
That's what I think.
Like that's one way to put not to be compensated.
Right.
Yeah. I'm where Wes is. I'm like, okay, what if we take it down just to the two people or the two positions that are being paid, because there's multiple constables, and then literally in the recommendation it could be that
not even the recommendation, the summary, and say all other elected officials will receive $0 compensation.
Right. Leave it at that.
Would we list out the other elected officials so people know who's elected?
I think we should.
People, you can, or you could just say other elected officials because they're voting for them.
I know.
No, but I think it is also good for people to know, right? All these different elected positions are like doing it without like
have chosen to waive their compensation.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say chosen to waive. It's just we'll take no compensation for the year.
Yeah.
But we did choose to waive it.
By fact that we don't put ourselves up for money, yes, in a way we do. But the main point is that the elected officials are the constables are required by law to receive compensation, and then the town clerk is a full-time position, which receives compensation. The other ones are volunteer elected members.
So I'm not saying in a grid, Wes.
Yeah.
You can still keep.
No, I get that, and say you can also say something like all other elected officials will take $0 compensation, or if you really need to list them out.
I think it should list.
That's fine. I'm fine with that. It's just I feel like the grid is just like we're showing a table of zeros.
Agree.
I agree too.
Rajan, if you want to go ahead and delete them, and if and I'm not, whoever's writing summaries, take it upon them.
Kelly's managing this one.
All right, who is?
Kelly.
Okay.
We need to make sure that
we also don't have to do it live, so don't worry about it. I think Kelly gets the gist.
Beautiful. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're not going to write. We're not going to write the summary now. It's just take into consideration what we just noted, and okay, done.
Or put it in, paste it at the bottom so that Kelly has it. or somewhere, right? Like who the other positions
Kelly
are.
is running the show, Priya. Like, Kelly has it.
I didn't know if it was Kelly who's moving
Yeah,
it
no, it's
around
Kelly.
or Rajanis. So because
Okay.
It's
Rajan was the one
It's
who-
magical Kelly.
Magic. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Because like I said, we're going to vote them all later. Let's just get through. If we feel like going back and voting the easy ones tonight, we can, but let's just get through all of them first. All right. Amendment to the personnel plan. Who is the liaison to the personnel board? I forget.
I am.
All right. So whoever's typing, can we just write that Bob, well, let's put it right in here that Bob is writing the, perfect. I see the word Bob. Thank you. Okay. Next. Town operating budget. Next. Okay, so this was a citizen's petition. Basically, do we need any more information on this and why they want to have it? There's a summary right there. It's basically so we don't have to ask every town meeting. If it's asking for the same exact thing, but if we don't want to ask at every town meeting, would we like the citizen who brought forward the position to come in and talk to us, or do we want to just go with what we have?
I'm fine with
Go
what we
with
got.
it.
Okay, then I'll do that one. So you can type Kristen there. Thank you.
We have a raised hand.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead, raised hand. I can't see you. I'm sorry. I'm
Diana.
I just a quick comment. In that citizen's petition, it says that the moderator can decide if it's in the best interest of the town for reconsideration. I don't think that is part of the reconsideration vote, but I could be wrong. But it seems like that gives too much discretion to the moderator. Unless the moderator already has that discretion.
From my memory, Diane, I think that is usually what's in the motion, but I could be wrong. But there's a citizen's petition, so I don't know that we can change it. We could change it on town meeting floor.
I'm just bringing that to your attention.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. Yep, nope, good point. All right, we'll look into that one.
Okay.
So it may be feedback we may want to give to the petitioners from either town council or because town council, I believe, does review most of the warrant.
Mm-hmm. Mike, is that something? Can you know Diana's question because it's a good one, and we'll have that checked, and then circle back with the citizen petitioner.
Yeah, we can do that. Absolutely.
Thank you. Is that something just from a procedural point of view? Would we wait until when would you do that? Let me just ask a question. When would you do that? Would you do it a priori or wait until we're sending everything?
I would do it when we send it to town council just to make it efficient and not cost more.
That's what I was thinking. Try not to spend an extra $500. Can you let the citizen petitioner know that we're going to look into it just so they're not surprised if it comes back?
Sure.
Thank you. Or have Becky do it if it's more appropriate that Becky pass that along.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll have Becky.
I don't mean have Becky. I meant ask Becky. Thank you.
Certainly.
All right, next. All right, Department of Public Works. We talked about this at Capitol Saturday. Do we need more information from Ed before we can make a decision? If anybody wants more information, like I said, I can't see you all anymore, so you just have to say yes. Hearing nothing. Does anybody want to take this on?
I'll do it, Bob.
All right, thanks, Bob.
I can also.
You know what we can do at the end? We can kind of see how many everybody is doing and then share
Well,
it
I mean, like,
out.
I can take this one. It's pretty simple. Like, it's not anything life-changing.
Bob, do you want to give it to Wes?
Bob already has one.
Others. Bob
already has one.
There you go. Wes has one.
Bob already has one. All right, this is going to be Wes's, Kelly. Or Rajan. I'm not really sure who's typing. Thank you. Next. All right, compactors. Same thing. We had the presentation at Capitol Saturday. Does anybody need more information?
I can take this one as well if you want.
Thank you, Wes. Yeah, that makes sense. That way, if you need to communicate with Ed, it's one person. Okay. All right, underground fuel tank removal. Bob, did you do this last one? I mean, I think it still makes sense that West does it, but who did the last
I can
one?
do all of the DPWs. I did the last, but I can do all DPW. It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Kristen,
Yeah,
Diana,
because go ahead, Bob.
yeah, Diana's got her hand up.
Oh, Diana.
Yeah, just a quick question. When I went through the draft in your packet, I noticed so many articles out of free cash. Is this assuming that we're leaving $1 million in free cash?
No one from the
I think
FinCom
that came up in the budget Saturday.
I believe we are actually leaving 2.25. Does anybody remember the exact numbers? I do not have my packet with me, but we're actually, we were staying well within the FinCom parameters for reserves. And for some reason, I have 2.25 remaining in my head. Does anybody happen to have that at their fingertips or in their memory?
No, that's, I'm trying to see if it's in the minutes, and I don't see it in the minutes either.
All right, but yes, but we did actually on Budget Saturday go round and round. We have what, Mike, is it over 4 million in free cash right now?
Yes, like 4.3.
Yeah, so that is the reason you're going to see free cash being used in a lot of these articles, is because we basically have a lot in free cash, and where we're looking at a potential override next year, we were weighing the pros and cons of using reserves for these things. So
I wonder how that, affects the town's credit rating if we don't have enough of a
it actually doesn't, because we're still well with it. We had this conversation with FinCom too. You could pop into their next meeting and ask these questions, because they're better informed on it. But we did
seem like a lot of them were free cash.
They are all. We are pretty much either bonding or using free cash, because it was, the FinCom spent a lot of time analyzing the town's fiscal position and decided this is the best way for us to manage it this year.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
So with the warrant articles that we have coming from free cash, even with all that being used, it would be about 2.5 million left over, and the 5% limit that FinCom recommends with this current free cash would be 2.1 million.
So we'd be $400,000 over the minimum recommendation.
Yes, as it currently is right now.
Thank you for finding that. So I was wrong. I only had 2.25 in my head. Thank you.
And also, one other thing, that's not just a FinCom recommendation. That's a town financial policy that the select board and finance committee and administration and our finance team have all signed and agreed to.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay. No, it's nice that we all communicate. It's good. All right. Boxford Museum HVAC dehumidifier. Who's the museum liaison? I don't have that in front of me anymore. Do we have one?
I don't think we do.
Oh, all right.
I can do it.
Well, Wes, you already have 3. You got to share.
It's easy.
Who's
well, I mean, there's a large warrants articles.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just hold on, Kelly. I had Kelly put it into the agenda. Like I said, you guys know me and my paper. I need to have paper. I'm just thinking whoever has historical and all the rest might want this one, because it's kind of, or whoever's, Bob, aren't you on this? Who goes?
Sam has the historical commission.
I'd be happy to take it then.
Thank you, Sam. No, like I said, there's gonna be plenty of opportunity for everybody. Okay, I lost my list of all right, updated. All right, next. All right, police department, fingerprint machine. Do we need more information from the chief on this one? All right, I'm happy to take this one.
So my quick question, hello, Kristen, my question is, I'm looking real quick. There's like 4 or 5 police. Are you going to take all the police, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, I can take all the police. It just makes sense. It's one-stop shopping. But then that means somebody else has to take all, like West took all. I think that makes sense. We break it up into the big departments. If we each take one big department, we're good.
I agree. No, I agree. And like as Wes said, as you said, you're asking about one article. Why don't you ask about 2 articles or 3 articles? So yeah. So the next one, as you just said. So if you take this one, then you'll take all the police. The next one. Yep. The next one. Yep. The next one.
Yep. And then I guess my question is, for all of the police ones, as we're scrolling through, does anybody need the chief to come back in or the lieutenant to talk to us about it some more? Or do we feel like we have enough information to vote?
I think we are just doing that right now, right? Like, let's go through them so that way we can.
Right, but that's what I'm asking. Do
Yeah.
we need the chief to come in for any of the police department ones?
So let's scroll.
Oh, you
and-
want to see
and-
them? I'm sorry. Yeah, you want to see them.
I don't know what they are. I can't remember.
Gotcha. No, I gotcha. So fingerprint machine, do we need more info?
No.
No. Okay. Command vehicle? Okay. Flooring. I've seen their flooring. That's an easy one. Their carpet's nasty. Academy training and coverage. We talk about this every year.
Yep.
And that's it.
I'll take the fire ones.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, that's it. All right. So then fire department, protective equipment. Do we need the chief to come in? Do we need more to learn more about this? So anybody watching that wasn't at Capitol Saturday, Mike, while Kelly's putting pre on all the fire ones, are all of the presentations available as amendments to Capitol Saturday?
They're all available. What do you mean as amendments?
Well, I mean, like if I were a citizen and here I am saying we discussed it on Capitol Saturday and I thought, well, I haven't seen the presentation. We have a couple of choices. We can attach it to the minutes for Capitol Saturday, or when it's time for us to vote these, we'll make sure all of those PowerPoint presentations are included in the next packet.
So Kristen, you want the PowerPoint presentations attached where?
Well, I'm just thinking that for, that they need to be somewhere that the public can see them, so they understand what we understand.
It probably makes more
So
sense to just
usually
attach
on
them
the
to the
website.
minutes for Capitol Saturday. So that way, if people want to look at it, we can just have them as attachments to it.
Or exhibits or whatnot.
Yeah,
If
exhibits.
it's been my understanding in the past, we've also had a list of files that have all the slides for town meeting as well on the website for presentations. So I think that's, sorry if you guys hear my kids yelling in the background.
Just happy, healthy children. Yay. No, again, as long as they're somewhere, and I think that's actually a great idea, Wes, if there was a designated place, people could find them and easily find them for town meeting. Okay. All right. So Rajan, you're going to attach them as exhibits to the minutes and we'll make them available on the website?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So Priya's doing all of fire department. Do we need any more information on cistern inspections and repairs? I'm not hearing yeses from anybody. Oh, the department heads are going to be so sad they don't have to come in and present to us again.
I don't think sad's the word.
Do we need anything on this? The AEDs and life-saving equipment? No?
Nope.
Okay. Breathing apparatus?
Nope.
So that's Priya.
Nope.
Mobile computers?
Nope.
Yeah, unless someone says yes, please, then it's no. So that's Priya's.
Nope.
Okay. Let's see. This is a different one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's emergency management. It falls under the fire chief, not the fire department. So
Priya, do you want it?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right, IT. It's nose game. Definitely not me.
I'll take it.
Sam will take it. Awesome.
Sure.
And I know nothing about it, so you'll have to teach me. All right. Salary reserve.
I'll take it.
Thank you, Bob. Right, with you being the personnel plan liaison, that makes the most sense. Yep. Municipal separate storm sewer system permits. So that's DPW, right?
Yep.
Who wants DPW? So either,
Is it Wes? Are you taking this one?
This is land use and planning, I thought.
Yeah,
oh,
this is the
this one comes under
so
land
effectively
use.
this summary becomes this is an unfunded required mandate and we have to do it, so please approve it.
Okay.
That's literally the language that goes into this. It's
all right.
that's what it says.
Sam, do you still want it, Sam?
Yeah, I don't mind taking the land use and planning bunch.
Awesome. Okay.
So I think you should use that language that Wes just said.
Okay. Well, it's recorded. We could just take it verbatim.
That's literally what we've put in the past. This is another unfunded required mandate from the state.
Woohoo!
Please
Love
pass.
those.
And then it goes into the consent agenda, and then nobody looks at it.
Yeah,
That's effectively what happens.
Excellent. All right. Who wants OpenGov online permitting software?
This is land use and planning too. I'll take it.
All right. That's Sam. I actually think this is going to be pretty fair in the end. I'm kind of doing a mental tally. And efficient too, because if we each have like a specific person with categories. Town clerk, poll pad replacement. I'll take this one as town hall. Revolving fund, dog license fees. I'll take that one since I'll be talking to Becky about the other one.
So, Kristen, are we going to talk about fees, or how does that affect this?
We're going to do fees that are, I talked to Mike about that. We were going to talk about amending fees, like the big fee structure, like permit fees and all that, after we get the warrant out, because it's not time sensitive. You know, we want to do it before July 1st, but it doesn't have to impact the warrant.
So would dog licenses be part of that discussion?
This is just for the revolving fund. It doesn't actually say the amount of dog licenses, the dollar amount. The only thing that might happen is to see reauthorize rolling fund to a maximum of $4,000. So the only thing that might happen is we would change the dollar amount, but we can do that before town meeting and after the warrant goes, is done.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have lots of fees to talk about. Another revolving, it's mine, that's police, that's mine. And a revolving fund, this is town hall, so. I'll take that one. So Kelly, just a heads up, if we'll get all the voting and all done, because we're gonna be doing this in theory, but if we change the amounts of permits, we might be changing some of these limits. Unless, my understanding is if we go over limit, actually, I don't know. Say we collect $4,500 in dog license fees, where does the extra $500 go? Does anybody know? Because I do not.
Isn't this the maximum you can take?
So the revolving fund is how much it goes into there and then how much it can hold. The rest of it would then go to free cash is my understanding.
That's kind of what I figured, but I wasn't sure. So, okay, that's kind of what I figured. Okay. Yeah, yep. So these are spending limits above, and the dog license one is how much they could collect.
Well, the revolving fund, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, and I probably am wrong, but my understanding is that the account can hold up to that much, and then you can spend up to that much each year, but anything over that amount would go to free cash and would be ready the next year. The reason why you use revolving funds is that you can use them in the same fiscal year. As soon as you take in the money, you can use them to pay out.
Okay.
That is my understanding of the revolving funds, and it could be wrong.
Well, you know what? As part of me doing my research to bring back to you guys, I will confirm that. Thank you. Okay. Close completed articles to the general fund. Wes, I'm going to give you that one. That'll be a fun one for you.
Sure. Just seeing the blank table, the select board votes unanimously to support it.
Well,
Oh, that table's going away.
Although the next one is Chapter 90 Highway, so that would be Wes.
That's fine.
Sorry, Wes. You might wind up with more than anybody else.
We get this free money, and please don't throw it away.
There you go. All right. Sam, is this yours since you're doing the other tech one?
No, this is mine.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, because you actually have. Didn't you have that?
Yes.
Yeah.
On the Comcast and the Verizon.
That's what it is. The 5G Small Cell Committee. All right.
Yep.
OPEB Trust Fund. Bob, I feel like this is a benefits thing. So you want it,
Sure.
Bob?
Sure, I'll take it.
Thank you.
Can you take it if you're joining the union? God.
Uh-oh. Well, this one's mine because I'm actually their liaison. And mine.
And yours.
Yay.
And yours. Chris and I joke, but I mean, you are the liaison, so this falls into that thing we were talking about.
Yeah.
Are you going to do all the CPC?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll sync up with John Fallon and get all up to date and everything. My guess is it's going to be a pretty similar.
The
Yeah.
majority of CPC goes into the consent articles anyway. So.
Right. And do we usually put CPC in consent agenda? Who remembers?
No.
So
No,
the consent agenda is when both the select board and the finance committee vote unanimously in favor. That is the consent agenda. And
Okay.
so sometimes some articles can fall out of it, but sometimes they do fall into it.
Okay.
Like,
But
Alright,
it would
we
be
need to do
CPC consent agenda, and then
Yeah.
you would have CPC non-consent agenda.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Planning board articles, we need to understand them, but we don't write recommendations and we don't vote them unless they have a municipal impact. And I did look at their list on the chart and I didn't see anything. I mean, the only reason we voted on the MBTA was just because of the nature of it. But ordinarily we don't. So yeah, you can just go right through these, Cal, because everyone has it in their packet so they can look at them.
That's it.
But
We're done.
unless somebody feels that we need to have an opinion on any of this.
Nope. I agree with you.
Okay.
Don't touch planning.
Yeah. So if anybody looks at their list and decides they do or don't want something, find somebody else on the board to do it for you. How about that?
Works for me.
Okay. All right. So everybody has their marching orders. So what we'll do at our next meeting is we'll start working through, we'll just start working through the votes. And if you can have your recommendations done, that would be amazing because it'll just help us move things quicker.
Yeah. I think that's great. Kelly, could you just send those out to us sometime this week? You know,
I'll do it tomorrow.
Perfect. That'd be
Thank
great.
you.
I'll
Big-
just say,
yeah,
I only have 4, so if someone's feeling like they got a huge
Oh,
pop,
I'm totally, all right.
you
Why don't I
send
give you
them
my
my way.
CPC ones?
Sure, happy to. I'll take CPC.
I love the CPC, but
Me
no,
too.
you're right. I've got town hall and I've got police. So if you don't mind taking CPC.
Yeah,
Thank
what
you.
were there like?
Sorry,
what were there, like
Kelly.
5 or 6?
That's okay.
It's like 10. It's
Yeah.
like 10.
Sure.
You just went from 4 to 10. Sorry. Well, if you want to split it with someone, you can.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All
It
right.
would be 4 to 14. if you
Exactly.
added 10.
I wasn't gonna say.
like the math.
All right. Well, Sam, if you decide you only want to do half of them, you can pass half to somebody else.
We'll do just that. No problem.
Are you sure? Okay. Okay. So next up, adoption of written designer selection procedures for the town of Boxborough. So Mike, do you want to walk us through all of this? Oh, gosh, did we lose Mike?
I think we
No,
lost
no, he
Mike.
was muted. That's all. I'm sure
Is he muted or is he?
Oh, there he is. He's back.
Okay.
he's muted again.
Oh,
Oh, there you
Hi,
are.
sorry about that.
no,
What
if
did
I
I
figured your
miss?
internet might have been wonky.
It's not great. Okay, what are we up to?
The written
go ahead.
designer.
Oh, designer selection procedure. Yeah, so it's time for us to update our designer selection procedure. The one we have is fairly outdated. The procurement laws have changed. So we had council put together this draft procedure and send it. And it mirrors what's in the procurement mass general laws. And so this is, what's recommended that the town adopt to get us up to speed.
Did everyone have a chance to go through it? Do you have any specific questions from it? Mike and I discussed it when we talked earlier, so I'm feeling pretty up to speed, but does anybody else have questions, concerns, ideas?
No, just Mike, the second email you sent out that has the actual wording on it, that's what we're going to use as it was.
The attachment.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Correct. Not the first page with the email in the packet, but the subsequent pages.
Right, with the 22 different articles.
Yes.
Okay,
and
great.
what that does is that mirrors mass general law procurement laws. And that's what most communities do, is they'll adopt that so that they're in sync with the laws.
Did we not have one, or is this an updated version?
This is an updated version. Ours hasn't been updated in some time.
Okay, I'm all set. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I move that the select board adopt the written designer selection procedures for the town of Boxborough pursuant to MGL Chapter 7C, Section 54A as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? Then we'll have a roll call vote. Bob.
Simple I.
Priya.
Sundaram, I.
Sam.
Anderson, I.
Wes.
Books I.
And Hilbert guy. Okay, let's see. Let's see what's next. Reports and announcements is next. Okay, so we usually start with Mike and his team first. So do you have any reports or announcements? Mike, Rajan, Kelly?
I made all my announcements at the beginning, so I'm good.
Okay. I think my only announcement would have been for the school committee, and Adam covered all of that. So I don't have anything either. So, all right, moving down as I can see you. Bob, do you have any updates, reports, announcements?
Nope, not this week.
Priya?
Our pre-special town meeting info session is moved to March 3rd, Tuesday, 2 to 8 p.m. So just want to make sure that everybody is aware. And I think we have made all the social media posts. Is it posted in our website? I haven't had a chance to look at that one, Rajan. Is it front and center?
When is it again? Because I wasn't on that email, so I haven't posted anything.
It's going to be. I know, Alec had requested what date, a couple of dates, and then Mary had sent out an email to him saying confirming for March 3rd.
Did he? So he confirmed back. It's March 3rd.
I don't know if he confirmed back or not.
Yes.
So. Okay.
Yes, March 3rd from 2 to 8.
Okay, so I will get that up on the website and social media.
So Alec actually already has, something that you can post. He has graphics. You can get them from him.
Okay, yeah.
So he can put it up there too, right? Doesn't he have admin? Well, whatever. Somebody will get it on the website.
Yeah, okay. And we want to make
sure we'll replace everything that says postponed and we'll put the new date on there.
Awesome.
And
then the chief also has an open house on February 28th. Am I right, Mike? Do you remember? I thought it was February 28th.
That'd be Saturday. Does that make sense?
It is the 28th.
It is the 28th. Okay. Yeah. And that's from 11 usually, right? Is it at 11 o'clock?
I don't recall the time.
All right, but the fire station is having an open house. We'll get that time on too. So
No, it's
anyone
not,
listening or
yeah,
watching?
the fire station is February 28th, 10 to 2.
Thank you. All right, and then the special town meeting info night is March 3rd from 2 to 8. And it is drop-in, come for as little or as much time as you'd like to spend with us.
And that one is at Sergeant Memorial Library.
Oh, it's on 3-3. That's fun. At the library. Okay.
And the Boxborough Fire Department open house is at the fire station.
Excellent. Anything else?
Those were the two. Yeah.
All right.
And,
Sam? Sorry. I'm sorry, Priya.
Sorry. We have flyers for both of them. I mean, not for the open house, but for the pre-town meeting. We had flyers that we had passed out. Unfortunately, we don't have the updated flyers for this weekend. I don't know if it'll make sense to do and like pass it out. I know we are not going to have a fire station building committee meeting, so I'm not sure. Like this.
Well, I would think if you guys passed them out before with the old date, and it's just a reschedule, so that means everybody has the flyers. So no, I mean, I don't know that you need to do it again because you're probably going to see all the same people. So
yeah, we passed it out in the like in the transfer station. So
right. Okay.
Hopefully they will look in social media or in our website.
Right. Well, you know what? If they were planning on coming tonight, was it tonight? Was it supposed to be tonight or tomorrow night?
It was supposed to be tonight.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess I would argue if you were planning on coming, you had it in front of you, you knew it was canceled, and you probably saw, you know to go back and look. I guess that's kind of your decision whether you want to be at the transfer station again this weekend.
Well, I think we'll play it by ear and see if I hear anything from Mary Brolin. I'll touch base with Kelly. In the meantime, Mike, can we make sure that we put the sandwich boards up again once, like maybe not tomorrow, but like by Wednesday, if we can put them out again?
Yes.
The updated date and the time. Last time, I think we didn't have dates on some of them. I know the space is limited, but somehow we might want to put the dates in this time.
Yeah, we can do that.
Can we put it on the, I call it the signy thing, the police? Come on, Wes, you know what it is.
Yeah, that one would be updated.
The signy thing at the police station.
Yeah.
The electronic signage board, Kristen?
Thank you. The signy thing.
Yep. We had it for today's one, so we'll update it for March 3rd again.
I'll bet that's the best way to get the word out.
Yeah.
I always read it. So, okay. Sam, any announcements or reports?
I just got back from vacation. I don't have anything to tell you.
Did you have a good time?
You had a nice time. Thank you.
Did you wear your sunscreen?
Yes. Do I look bad?
Are you like, obviously? No.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back. Wes, any reports or announcements?
There's a lot of snow outside.
Yeah.
And I was snow blowing and DPW was driving by, so they did give me ample space. So I thank the person that was in that huge like tractor looking thing with the snowplow on the front of it for not also then pushing snow into the place where I just plowed. So
or burying you all the way around. There's a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah.
That's where I'm
DPW. I have to say, and I hope I don't get anyone in trouble, but I have seen the guys pick up the plow when they go in front of driveways, and I just think this is so nice because you'll see somebody out there with a shovel, at least you had a snowblower, and that they're super nice about not dumping on people. So,
well, that's where I'm going right now, so I'll let you know if they did it for me.
Okay, good luck.
Well, no, it's while you're out there. It's not like.
Yeah, that's true. It's only if they see you and they take pity on you. Yes.
And I was like, literally, like, I now plow part of my neighbor's driveway just because we have a shared driveway.
That's
well,
nice.
so then they don't just push the snow into my driveway where I've already plowed.
Right.
But you know what? I think that the path of least resistance sometimes is the way to go.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
So I So I have a quick update. Speaking of snowstorms and plows and what Wes was just saying. So I just received a picture from my neighbor. So earlier today, like before noon, I live on a state road like Route 111, and so the state plows my road. And before noon today, about a 30-ton truck skidded off the road. It was a state plow truck.
Oh God.
Landed on my neighbor's front lawn, just feet from the children's bedroom on the front of their house. And they've been all day out there with cranes and huge equipment trying to get this thing out of these people's yard. And I guess they just finally have it. It was just reported to me that they finally have it back out in the road, and now they're going to be hauling it off. But nobody was killed, nobody was hurt. But that's the kind of storm.
Wasn't like
that's
that
the kind of
dude
storm
that
this
tried
was.
to drive over the power lines and then like
what are people
what was it, Weymouth or something like that? Like there was some dude that like drove over power lines and then like all sparking under the truck.
And then I saw somewhere in the news today, there's another town, one of those town 30-ton plow trucks hit a sinkhole, and it sank, and it blew out all its tires, and it's sitting in the road, and the town is trying to figure out how are they going to pick up this plow truck that sank into a sinkhole in the middle of the town road.
They need one of those cranes that picks up the containers in the seaport.
I hope.
They better call DOT. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Mike, I was hoping you were going to say that they used the backhoe to build a giant snowman. Because did anybody see the crazy giant snowman in Shirley that was in the news?
Yeah, the 20-footer. Yeah, the 20-foot. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a listing in Lunenburg, so I went there. Oh my God, you guys. It's amazing. So anyway, all right. Well, I think okay. All right. All right. I had one more thing before we do minutes. And I am proposing that everyone pull out their calendars. I would like to propose that we meet next Monday instead of on the 16th. And the reason being is that 6 months ago, I booked a trip to Disney with my grandchildren. So I will be in Orlando that week. And I want to say that no matter what, you would have 3 meetings in a row. Because if we don't move. So basically, without getting too much into it, I'm going to suggest we either reschedule the 16th to the 2nd or the 30th, but my preference is the 2nd so we can get things done early. If we reschedule it to the 30th, like I said, no matter how we do it, we're going to have 3 Mondays in a row. But if we reschedule to the 30th, that would have to be the absolute drop dead date for everything.
So, Kristen, if we go to the 2nd, when would we meet?
At 7 o'clock on the 2nd.
No, the 2nd, and then what?
The 9th is town meeting. And then our next meeting would be the 23rd.
I'm okay with that.
Is anybody else okay? Is everybody else okay for the 2nd? All right, seeing no dissent, we will do that. So that does mean only 1 week. Like, what if we each all promise to bring at least one recommendation for Kelly? Now, the other thing is I'm going to highly recommend that everyone take advantage of AI, including you, Cal. Like, you could use AI in so many ways to organize the warrant. Even telling you who's done what, use it. Put the whole warrant article, put the summary in, talk to ChatGPT and tell it what you think and let it help you, because it's just going to make everything move so much faster for everybody. That's just my advice.
I will counter that, and I will say, please don't. I've spent more time digging out of ChatGPT and Claude than I have actually having it help. Like,
wait.
If you give a specific task, Claude is the better AI than ChatGPT.
That's what everybody says.
It's by Anthropic, and it gives you more context window. But unless you give it very specific, detailed, tasks, if you give it a broad thing, it's going to give you garbage. And a lot of times the way that people are using it is, not even saying, they're just asking it open-ended questions rather than asking it to detailed summarize or do something. But
well, let me give you an example. Because I actually did this for the last 2 town meetings. I put the warrant article and summary in. Then I tell ChatGPT why I like it or I don't like it. It spits something out, and then I edit it down. So I don't spend hours with it. I am very specific. Here's the article. Here's the summary. And this is why I think it's a great idea. And then I say, make it a paragraph. So I'm just saying it works for me. I'm just throwing it out there.
All right.
But anyway, yes, if everybody could try to get something to Kelly before next Monday, that will help her immensely. Okay. Next up, minutes.
So my only question now, based upon what we discussed earlier, for the January 3rd budget Saturday, can we approve them, or do we have to wait for the slide, the presentation decks be added?
No, we can say as amended. We can say that
them. You don't need to add the presentations because those are artifacts, and so you just need to reference them. And so the point of having the corner on the web page of the presentations for town meeting, that has nothing to do with the minutes per se.
Okay, great. So then that's my only okay. So I've reviewed both, and I will make a motion to approve the minutes of January 3rd and the minutes of February 7th.
How about February 9th? The select board meeting.
That's the one you ran, Bob.
Sure, I'll approve that one too.
Second the amended motion.
All three.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Any further discussion?
Oh yeah.
All right, roll call vote. Bob.
Stemple aye.
Priya.
Sundaram, aye.
Sam.
Anderson, aye.
Wes.
Folks, aye.
And Hilberg, aye. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote. Bob.
Stemple aye.
Priya.
Sundaram, aye.
Sam.
Anderson, aye.
Wes.
Folks, aye.
Hilberg, aye. And I want everyone to notice it is before 9 o'clock and we got a lot of work done. Thank you.
And I'm going to go snowblow. Thank you.